Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. A popular misconception is that this is the George Benson Chelsea football channel. It isn't. It's the George Benson football channel, which is why we are going to be talking about England. It's where I'm from. It's my country. I'm absolutely buzzing for the Euros. I didn't want to be in Bali, which is 7 hours ahead, so I've got my flights back to England and I'll be in Europe for Euro 2024 because I know that it's crazy. I know that it's stupid. But I genuinely think England are going to flip and win it this time because that's what we do every 2 years. We build it up. We hype it up. And for me, it's the only way to go. If you don't enter a competition thinking, we're actually going to win this, we might actually win this, it becomes boring. There's no point to it. And as much as my heart has been broken on countless occasions, I think Gareth Southgate, as much as I think we could have done a much better job by having a different manager going into this tournament, Southgate is the man. He's the guy that they've decided to stick with, and his squad that he has picked, I think I agree with it almost man for man. And I'm going to react to the England squad for Euro 2024 in today's video. If you look forward to these England videos, it's not going to replace any Chelsea content. We'll have daily Chelsea transfer news and daily Chelsea news. There will be extra England videos. There's going to be match previews. There's going to be 6 things we learned from the England games. And then we're also going to be doing shorts every single day, reacting to all of the results and predicting the scores for the following day. So we begin with the goalkeepers. But before we do that, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of the content, and smack a like if you're also buzzing for the Euros. We begin with the goalkeepers: Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford, and Aaron Ramsdale. I think here, if we're looking at it in order, Jordan Pickford is the clear England number one. He always plays well for England. He's had a good season for Everton. And James Trafford is the man that has missed out here. I think maybe I'd have picked Trafford over Aaron Ramsdale. Ramsdale's obviously not been picked by Arsenal. He's lost his place to David Raya. I think Henderson was probably, I think Ramsdale would have probably always been the number 2. And then it would have been between Henderson and Trafford. And I think I'd have picked Trafford over Ramsdale, to be quite honest. Moving into the defenders. Now, if there is any players here or positions that I actually am a bit worried about and concerned for England in this tournament, it's the defence. I think the goalkeeper, I think as long as Pickford stays fit, I think we're solid. I think we're safe. But when it comes to this defence, first of all, I'm a Chelsea fan. It'd be nice if Reece James would have gone, but I'm kind of happy from a Chelsea stance that he's not, because then it means he won't get injured again. So we've got Lewis Dunk, Joe Gomez, Mark Gurhey, Ezri Konsa, Luke Shaw, John Stones, Kieran Trippier, and Kyle Walker. And obviously Trent is going into the midfield category. We'll talk about him in a little while. I think for me it's quite obvious. Kyle Walker and John Stones are the two here that you just absolutely have to take on the plane. Kyle Walker will be the right back. John Stones will be one of the centre backs. And then one of the surprise omissions from the squad was Jared Branthwaite, a guy who's had a really good season at Everton. And I think when you're looking at the chemistry of this England team in terms of how long these guys have been playing together at country level, I'm concerned. Luke Shaw isn't going to be fit enough, although he's on the plane. He's probably not going to be fit enough to play the first game. So if Shaw is back for the Denmark match, which is game number 2, then Luke Shaw is the left back. I think in terms of left backs, he is England's best left back right now. Chilwell's had an awful season. And when you look also at the backup in that position, Kieran Trippier has not, in my opinion, had the best season at Newcastle. I think he's done well when it comes to those numbers, but towards the second half of the season, I wouldn't say Kieran Trippier was up there. So I think when it comes to that left-hand side of the back line, I think England are going to struggle. And I think it will be Walker, Stones, and I'm thinking maybe Lewis Dunk has got in over Jared Branthwaite because of what Lewis Dunk can do in the air, because Harry Maguire is another name that was omitted from this squad that a lot of people thought would go. Jarrell Quansah also one of the defenders who missed out. But look, Maguire, as much as we can, he's been a meme, a footballing meme for so long. When it comes to delivering for England, he always does. But that injury record this season, and I kind of like this from Gareth Southgate, he's picked players here based on the form that they've had this season. He even said it in the interview that he did post-release in this squad, that when you look at some of the players, and as we move forward into the midfielders and the forwards, there are some players that you might think, wow, I'm not entirely sure how they've missed out, but Southgate has picked players based on form. So when it comes to who goes next to John Stones, I'd say Mark Guehi, who's been winning games for Crystal Palace in that back line for them. And then it's got to be Trippier left back until Luke Shaw is fit, but maybe it's Joe Gomez. I think Gomez has just been brought in as an extra to basically make up the numbers if it's Luke Shaw doesn't get fit and Trippier, for whatever reason, becomes injured or can't play, then Joe Gomez will be used as a left back. I like Ezri Konsa. I think he's a decent defender. But Lewis Dunk is the one that I'm not entirely sure about. Jarrell Quansah had a good end to the season for Liverpool. But we move into the midfielders. And obviously when you look at the amount of midfielders here, it doesn't look like many. But the blessing that England have is that there are so many versatile forwards in this England setup that the midfielder number can be this low. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Conor Gallagher, Kobbie Mainoo, Declan Rice and Adam Wharton. First things first, I think Declan Rice will be a stone wall in that England midfield, whether it's going to be a double pivot or whether he plays as a single six. Conor Gallagher, obviously on this channel, I'm a massive fan of Conor's. He's had a brilliant season. Trent Alexander-Arnold scored a great goal for England the other night, looked really good, was arguably the best player in that win at St James's Park against Bosnia. I think this is an interesting England midfield, and I think the wild card here is Adam Wharton. And I remember on this channel, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I'm going to call myself out for it now. I thought it was crazy that Chelsea were linked with Adam Wharton from Blackburn in the January transfer window. I thought it was lunacy to think that a player who's playing at Blackburn Rovers would be a good signing for Chelsea. How wrong was I? Adam Wharton has arguably been one of the best midfielders in the Premier League since January, since joining Crystal Palace. He's revolutionised that midfield. There are a lot of people right now that talk about Adam Wharton, and they kind of say that he was born to be a part of that 2010 Spain side. The way that he sees a pass, the way that everything happens quickly, the ball's at his feet. He doesn't just sit and ponder with it. He gets rid of it. He moves it forward. And he's actually a brilliant footballer to watch. I'm delighted that he's in the squad. As for the way that I think England's set up, when I look at the players here that have missed out, there is no James Maddison in the England squad, which is a bit concerning for me because I think Maddison is one of those players that can find the holes, find the spaces, find that key pass in the final third to some of those creatives that we'll go into in a minute. And there's also no Jack Grealish in this England squad. And again, Grealish hasn't had a good season, but I would say he could be a match winner for England. And we're going to talk about who my match winners are in a moment. But these are good midfield options. And again, it all depends on what Southgate wants to do. Does he want to go with a double pivot? Is he going to use more of like a 4-3-3? Let Declan Rice sit there by himself? When we look at the forwards here, this is where you start to think, wow, this England squad is so flipping talented. You've got players here that are not only, some of them, world class, but you've got some of the most informed players in Europe in this squad. Jude Bellingham, Jared Bowen, Eberechi Eze, Phil Foden, Anthony Gordon, Harry Kane, Cole Palmer, there's our boy, Bukayo Saka, Ivan Toney, and Ollie Watkins. This is absolutely insane. The amount of depth that England have in this squad is incredible. When you start to move towards the forwards, it's where it gets exciting, but it's also where I start to get concerned. When you look at the players that you have here, you look at the creativity that even starts from the very back. You've got players that can make an incredible pass. Your likes of John Stones. You've got Kyle Walkers there. Midfielders like Trent Alexander-Arnold, who, if in the side, can pick a pass, switch the play. There could be so much dynamism, but I feel as though Gareth Southgate has just kept the shackles on England for so long. And that is why I'm excited by this squad. Because I feel as though what he's done with this squad is he's not only pick players based on merit, which I've been calling for him to do for a long time. And he's always kind of had those stone walls that are always going to be there, even if they're playing bad. But when I look at these forwards here, Eze has become a match winner for Palace towards the end of the season. Phil Foden, player of the year. Cole Palmer, he's world class. He's brilliant. Of course he was going to be on the plane. Saka's going to be there too. The way that I see this going, Harry Kane will obviously be there through the middle. Jude Bellingham is going to be there, but I think he's got to be one of the midfielders. And I think maybe Phil Foden on the left. Anthony Gordon, brilliant player to bring on. He's got so much speed. He's very direct. He'll run at players. And the interesting one for me is about Cole Palmer. Where would Cole Palmer fit in this England side? I think there is definitely a world in a 4-3-3 where you've got Jude Bellingham in the midfield, Declan Rice. You kind of use Bellingham as like a box-to-box. Allow Palmer to have that free reign that has made him so good this season at Chelsea as like an advanced 8/number 10. Phil Foden on the left, Bukayo Saka on the right, Harry Kane through the middle. It would look something like this. I want to do another video where we look into how Southgate can set these England teams up against various different opposition in this competition. Smack a like on this video if you want to see that. But look, when you look at this squad, I'm incredibly excited. If I bring back Kobe Mino, who's been one of those players again this season that has just been an absolute revelation in a struggling, dysfunctional Manchester United team. There's a lot of youth in this side. I think there's a lot of industry in this side. And importantly, above anything else, I think there is just an abundance of quality in this England squad. When you look again, the players that have missed out: Grealish, Maguire, Maddison, Branthwaite, Trafford, Jones, Quansah. James Trafford, look, we're arguing about a third choice goalkeeper here. I'm not going to spend any time on that one. Branthwaite, I think, would probably have been, for me, the big surprise. I think he definitely deserved to be in there over Lewis Dunk, potentially even over Joe Gomez as well. But this is a quality England team. I'm going to be doing in my next England video, my next Euros video. We're going to look at the bracket. We're going to do predictions for the whole tournament. See what we think, see what I think. Obviously, in these tournaments, it can always change. There'll be surprises. Teams go out. And basically from match week number 1, once everyone's played a game, I'll probably be wrong. But it's fun. We can dream. We can believe. And I'm sorry if you're not an England fan, but I am an England fan. It is the summer. We're blessed to have football in the summer again. It's unbelievable. And I really think England could go one better. But you'll find out what I actually think in my predictions video. That will be the next one. Obviously, the next video will be Chelsea news tomorrow. But then tomorrow's second video will be my actual predictions. I cannot wait for this tournament. I'm flying back to the UK, I think the end of next week. So I'll miss the first couple of days of it. But then I'll be in the UK and hopefully going to Germany if I can get hold of any tickets somehow for the Euros. I can't wait. I really think this is going to be a good one. Let me know your thoughts on the England squad in the comments down below. I'll catch you tomorrow morning for Chelsea news. Come on, you Blues.